A bold reinvention of classic cinema, or pretentious clown show propped up by nostalgia and fueled by stupidity? That is the question before us today. Alien Earth, you stand before this court accused of pretentiousness in the first degree, drunken disorderly pacing, and conspiracy to advance the plot through idiocy. Prosecution contends you are a fraud, the work of hacks, intoxicated by the sickly smell of their own bullshit. They accuse you of using children as mules to smuggle in dangerous amounts of stupidity, a Class A plot device used to drag its ridiculous story forward, one dumb beat to the next. Offences include, but are not limited to, how Wendy can magically control everything on the network, Wendy's magical transformation into Xenomorph Whisperer, every containment breach from the Maginot to the Island Lab, triggered by dumb character actions. Surveillance footage shows you meandering between lanes. Were you a slow burn meditation on the dangers of playing God? A children's after-school special? Maybe a dystopian allegory about runaway capitalism? Or were you just a dumb creature feature lining up cannon fodder for the slaughter? You leapt between them all, mastering none, leaving bystanders with cinematic whiplash. Counterfeit philosophy was recovered at the scene. Forensic analysis confirmed traces of synthetic profundity, cut with heavy doses of pretentiousness. Corporations were condemned as villains, yet also hailed as saviours. Meanwhile, the Lost Boys circle the same tiresome thought. Are they alive, or merely haunted machines? A thesis never truly tested by the plot. Toxicology report found dangerously high levels of nostalgia in your set design, casting, and thematic ambition. A narcotic drip, administered recklessly to lure unsuspecting fans into thinking they were watching something meaningful. And perhaps most damning was the psych evaluation. Doctors noted a shallow grasp of the big questions. They conclude, subject displays delusions of grandeur, compulsive reliance on fake philosophy, and a marked tendency to advance narrative through plot conveniences and acts of stupidity. The defence strenuously denies these charges. They claim nostalgia was within regulation limits, administered responsibly by professionals in a controlled environment, never exceeding recommended use, used only to ground us in the universe before quickly moving on to tell its own story. Details such as casting resemblances were an homage to the various eras of the franchise. We heard testimony from expert witnesses, each attesting to the show's innovations, immersion, and spectacle. Indeed, the queen of the franchise herself, Sigourney Weaver, spoke in praise of the project, for fleshing out the side of the universe that no one had dared to touch until now, Earth. They are dismayed over allegations surrounding the children. They claim the kids were no gimmick. They were an existential reminder, a living metaphor of mankind's hubris, how our reach exceeds our grasp, our desire to build what we cannot comprehend. They symbolise the fragility of control, the peril of playing God, and the inevitable collapse when innocence is weaponised. Like the xenomorph itself, they began small, unassuming, seemingly containable, until they grow into forces beyond mastery. And finally, the defence rejects accusations of poor pacing and lack of identity, insisting these are not flaws, but evidence of ambition. Each entry, they argue, was designed to show a different face, things old and new, familiar and strange. Variety was a gift to the viewer, not a crime against storytelling. I have heard your case. This court acknowledges the intent to set a new course for a franchise in desperate need of direction. A seed planted in old soil, but with new purpose. But it was watered with empty promises, growing towards a weak, erratic light, until the final product emerged a twisted wreck. Opening your episodes with innovative recaps and introducing a clutch of new alien parasites took you only so far. You pretended to give us deep philosophical quandaries about our culture and the nature of life, but instead you served us an endless supply of stupidity, including but not limited to how the Maginot survives atmospheric re-entry with no controls, how residents fail to notice their building being struck by a fucking spaceship, how a robot can hear the xenomorph in her head and make it her pet, How did the blue laser light come to be over the eggs? Was it set up by the xenomorph? Why can a sheep controlled by a parasite recognise our written number systems? And why are xenomorphs now immune to gunfire? The list went on. You peered jealously over the fence at Andor, but lacked such creative care. You failed to carry the delicate balance of respect for the past, ambitions for the present, and obligations to the future. You had some visuals, a talented cast, and a faint glimpse of a premise, but most damningly, you lacked competence. In the end, all you gave us was a stop-start mess, with another boring Mary Sue protagonist and shallow tech bro billionaire for a villain. What a waste of potential. Indeed, you're lucky not to face further charges for smuggling a Disney movie for product placement or dumping hazardous exposition. The truth is, the original film said more about Earth and the company with just 2 words. Crew expendable. Alien Earth, this court finds you guilty on all charges. You are hereby sentenced to oblivion. You will be vanquished in cryosleep, ejected from the airlock, burned in the furnace of Fury 161, and finally, nuked from orbit.
It's the only way to be sure.
This court is adjourned. The Honourable Judge Confusiasm, out.